if the NBA season ended now, they'd be about 6 or 7 games, something like that, short of the sweet spot, the full 82 game schedule. So they'd lose some money, but this would be the playoff matchup. Golden State and the historians would be getting together there. So the question, where does this performance leave LeBron and the Lakers? So I've got prophecies, 1990s rock, and cowabunga, dude. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to get down to the nitty gritty, is what we're going to do. Right down to the nitty gritty. So my first thought, my first thought is it leaves the Lakers licking their wounds, obviously. Right? And there's a lot of people in denial. I've been pointing this out as a distant relative of Nostradamus and friend of Nostradamus for some time, that the sky is falling. The sky is falling. This is a phony team. And many of you have pushed back. You know who you are. You've reached out to me with long manifestos about how I'm biased and I don't know what I'm talking about and all this stuff. Well, okay. Well, there was an opportunity there on Thursday night, Lakers and Warriors, and I would say if you're the Lakers, you're starting to bite your fingernails a little bit, get that little sweat going on your brow. Why? Because Stephen Curry and friends put on a masterclass in this particular game. The Warriors led for the final 3 quarters, which, if my math is correct, means the Lakers trailed for the final 75% of the game. And they had an early 5-point lead, and that was it. And when you take a couple of steps back and you look across the landscape and you observe everything from right to left across the landscape, it turns out that this is a case of prophecies fulfilled. When the Lakers were given the gift, it wasn't a trade. A trade is where you give up something. A trade is where you shop something to the highest bidder. It was a gift by Nico Harrison, who's clearly got a death wish. It was a kamikaze mission for his career in Dallas. He will be let go here, most likely at the end of the season. But that's a different conversation. So they made the gift. They picked up the gift from Dallas, and the criticism was, okay, so they're not going to stop anybody. And right now, in this moment, we do the show today. In this moment, the Laker defense is biblically bad. And Hookah Luka looks like he's running on fumes at this point, running out of gas. Luka Doncic, you know how many points he scored in the fourth quarter of a key regular season game down the stretch at home against a division opponent? 2 more points than you and I scored. Two.
So we're going to touch on a couple things, right? When it comes to the Lakers, we're going to talk about their defense. Well, you traded a guy who covers a damn good amount of the key, a damn good amount. So when you trade someone like AD, who makes up for people like LeBron being lazy on defense, Austin Reeves not being a real factor on defense, now you got people like Luka. He's looking a lot more sloppy right now, looking a little lazy. They're not going to be able to stop a lot of players defensively with those 3 guys in the game at the same time. So when you trade your rim protector like AD and a guy who could pretty much guard almost 1 through 5, these are the type of situations and kind of conversations we're going to have. The Lakers were on a high, on some type of high. They're winning games. And then they're getting a little reality check right now when these games are a little bit tougher. Teams got to either make the playoffs or not, play in or not, And the reason I'm worried is because you got other teams out there, like, for instance, the Nuggets. The Nuggets look really good, right? You got teams like the Rockets, a young team. They're playing really good. The Thunder, the Warriors. Who else is it? The Timberwolves. I know Anthony Edwards just went down. Who else? Grizzlies playing decently, but really, when you got a team like the Warriors and you look at what they've been doing since they got a Jimmy Butler, I don't think this is a team the Lakers want to see in the playoffs. I really don't. You got a veteran coach Steve Kerr, who's been in these moments. You got a Draymond Green veteran. You got Stephen Curry, and now you got a guy who's really hungry to get a championship, and that's Jimmy Butler. And then you got a bunch of just role players that can play basketball and been in a really good organization like the Warriors, right? So the Lakers are going to be in the playoffs, but who are they going to face is the next question. And how are they going to fix the bench, the rotations, and the defense? We know the Lakers could go put up points, but as stated, Luka only put up 2 points in the fourth quarter. You guys were just bashing Russ, though, right? He didn't put up any points in the fourth. You guys are bashing him. So the Lakers lose this game. Are we putting the blame on Luka, or who are we putting the blame on? Right? Moving forward, defense is what's going to help you guys through this playoffs and get you to a championship. I don't see the defense or rotations on this Laker team or defensive efforts that's going to put them on top of a lot of teams out there. That's where I'd be worried, right? You still have a Clippers team with, I think Kawhi is going to be healthy. You know, they're going to be in the playoffs as well, in my opinion. They got to win some games. But the Lakers aren't safe. No team is really safe this year. It's going to be tough. You know, Luka, I still think Luka could go out and put up 30, 40 points. I'm not saying that. I know he could do that. You know, in LeBron last night, what did he have? 33 or something like that? But the defense, who's going to put the efforts on the defensive end? Who's going to be the guy coming off the bench to make an impact? There's no consistent guy off the bench coming in and making an impact. So that's another problem as well.
2 points, that's it for Luka. In the fourth quarter, he was gassed, and he only played like around 8 minutes or something like that. And I guess he needs to get on the elliptical machine. And then you've got the another player that's
why they clowning Luka?
Is Dorian Finney-Smith, who also is El Stinko. He, for some reason, played 30 minutes. He's terrible. And then you have the Komodo Dragon in the room. The Komodo Dragon in the room is the purple and gold defense. Whee! What stinks? Pepe Le Pew, like there was a skunk performance as they turned Brandon Pajemski into Klay Thompson reincarnated for the Warriors. He was a splash brother. I mean, you talk about that. 28 points, 8 of 10 for Pajemski on money balls, pods, and the Warriors as a team with no resistance. None. Hit 45%. Hit 45% of their three balls. They were so dominant that, how dominant were they? Jimmy Butler, the big pickup from Miami, who was disgruntled in Miami, and now he's like the happiest guy in the world. Jimmy Butler was a spectator. He was a spectator for the most part, with a pedestrian 11 points. Just not a factor. And that is a bad omen. It's a bad sign going forward for the Lakers.
What? Hold on, what?
They're doomed. The house is on fire. It's a 3-alarm fire. It is. It's not a good situation. Here's LeBron James. And he was asked, you'll hear the question and the answer. Here's LeBron commenting on the matchup against the newly retooled team from Northern.
All right, so look, this guy's taking too long, right? The Lakers, we know they have a defensive problem. We're not going to discredit the Warriors. The Warriors playing very well. The Lakers got beat by, 7, 8 points? Okay, right? We can't discredit what's going on with the Warriors, too. They're playing great basketball. What his point is that Jimmy Butler only had 11, and you guys still lost. And Jimmy's a bad dude. Jimmy could give you 20, 23, 25. You know, obviously, Pod's made up for it last night. He had a great game. We don't know if that's going to be very consistent, how it would be for Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. So the main situation is this. Moving forward, the Lakers are going to have to figure out some rotation, a defensive rotation that's going to help them really become locked in on the defensive end, I don't think they're going to win. I'm not going to say that. I don't think they're going to have a better chance of winning games when you have a Luka out there with Austin Reeves and LeBron. And that's just too many. Like, look, Austin Reeves gives effort, but he's a little boy out there, bro. When on the defensive end, like if guys really start taking at him, Austin Reeves is gonna start doing this. He does this a lot, right? LeBron, he could play defense when he wants. Luka, same thing. He's gonna play defense when he wants, but it's not that effective. You can stay in front of you, but besides that, it's over. So I'm not calling the Lakers out. I'm not gonna say they can't get past the first round, but it's gonna be hard if they don't have any type of defensive sets. And that comes down to coaching as well. So that's all I got. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I'm out.